Yo, 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 Big Kish back up in here. We about to go over some Drake hate. It's like, nah, y'all know Drake my cousin, man. I just be messing with him for real. I don't know. I just be wanting to see them OVO glazers just mad. They don't know he my cousin, my first cousin on my mother, auntie, nephew, niece side. They don't know. We about to get into this video. Shout out to Fantastic Hip Hop. I will leave a link in the description. Y'all know I'm like holding y'all. Without further ado, let's get it.
Out on the charts has just been taken over.
Oh, my bad.
Now, currently with Drake, after all the attention has officially shifted away from his SSS for You album and whatever momentum he had on the charts has just been taken over by Playboi Carti's project, I Am Music, which is breaking all sorts of records. More than we have seen, Drake is in absolute shambles right now because he is realizing that he has been put in the worst position he has ever been in. Because from Luther and Kendrick Lamar's songs still...
I thought they was going to step on it with either Kendrick Lamar and SZA collab album, or I thought they was gonna step on it with a Baby King joint. I knew somebody was gonna step on it, but I didn't think it was Playboi Carti. Yeah, I knew somebody was gonna step on it. Yeah, that SSS joint is out of here. I don't care how many TikTokers you pay. It's gone.
Still standing at the top of the charts, to everything Carti is doing working its way up those same charts as well, and with the streaming numbers Carti has done in comparison to SSS for You already. I mean, for the people who thought that Drake didn't flop with his new album, it has never been more clear that his career has been over. And now, because of all of this and much more, Drake has been doing some of the most desperate stuff we have ever seen to try and salvage his career and try and stand up in this time where his album is falling off more than we have ever seen. And now, before we go any further into what he is exactly doing, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And so now, with that said, when it comes to just how bad the release of I Am Music has been for Drake, first off, with the numbers that music is pulling in alone, after Drake already looked terrible for pulling in only 56 million opening day.
56 opening. Oh, so Playboi Carti says 89. His joint say 56 opening debut.
Streams, and from there it has only gotten much worse as we have seen, with Carti pulling in 139
God! Woo! Playboi Carti and blasting him out the ocean. Godly!
million streams on day one, which is almost triple of Drake's streaming count. In the music industry, and with a time where Drake has been trying to tell us that he is still the top guy and that this beef didn't ruin his career and that he is still running things, the numbers we are seeing here just do not reflect this at all. And really, at this point, with music just outperforming Drake's album by this much and it didn't even have a full day of streaming to count for, this reality Drake now has to accept is now.
Then Playboi Carti, he had all that build up. Yeah, he had all that build. He did a whole day, whole night worth of build up, and then released at 9. Pause. I'm gonna just continue the video and be quiet.
Never been more evident before, because now it is solidified in the record books that when it comes to the streaming debuts of recent albums, not just did The Weeknd outperform Drake, but now Carti has outperformed him as well, and it is not even close. And with both of these, after trying to make a claim that you are still the top guy in the industry, and yet you are losing to the guy who you were not just in a full-on head-to-head with, but with all of the other people around that, Drake is now being pushed further and further down in the music industry, and it has never been more clear that it is all over. And now with all of this happening, and of course on this album, Drake is not just in shambles because of its performance being so strong compared to what he did, but with Kendrick Lamar on 3 entire songs, and of course he is on one where he is talking very clearly to Drake and letting him know that as long as he keeps going, Drake and everybody in OVO.
But you got two parties that's just waiting. That's been, you know what I'm saying? So you got one party that just want to hear Kendrick Lamar, so that's going to boost it up. Then I heard that Playboi Carti had his fans waiting for a minute. They've been waiting for him for a minute. So that's two parties just waiting, just colliding. We want to hear it. You know what I mean? That's wild. Yeah, Drake ain't... man, go sit down. Please, man. Please. Please go sit down.
Are going to continue to get humiliated in the rap game over and over again. There is no other way to put it, but Drake's career is in an absolutely terrible place. And really, for one of the rare times during Drake's fall off, he has at least showed that he is acknowledging it on some level. As from the way that the rollout went for this album, it is clear that Drake knew it was going to be over for him and that his career was not going to look any better after Carti released this highly anticipated album. Because from all of the hype that was around this record in of itself, to Big Ak hearing this record, knowing Kendrick Lamar was on it, and hearing the verse where he was calling Drake out, and of course, considering the way we know these two communicate, we can pretty much assume that Ak did tell Drake what was going to happen before anybody else knew. With all of this, and seeing how Drake has responded to his album officially flopping, Drake was clearly terrified that Kendrick was coming out on what was set to become the biggest album of the year, and because of that, Drake decided to do what he does best before this record dropped, which was just release a series of strange and cryptic posts that were all trying to build hype for either a deluxe version of SSS for You, or maybe even a Scary Hours 4 version of the record.
Oh Lord, no. Is this him? No. Oh, no. No. Boy, take this. Man, take this off your head, man. Oh, man. What was it? What was it? Above the Rim? Where the guy was trying to rob somebody, he had on a mask. He says, is that you? Man, take that shit off your head. What was that? It was, I don't know if that was an episode of Martin or something. Man, that shit was so funny. That's Drake, man. Take that shit off your head, man. You ain't no robber.
Which would be similar to what Drake did with For All the Dogs and then the deluxe album for that. And now, while some people thought that Drake was going to try and directly compete with Carti and Kendrick by releasing new music right when I Am Music dropped, as the regular 21 songs Drake put out did a third of Carti's numbers, it's clear that even Drake knows it would be an absolutely horrible idea to compete with Carti directly. And so seemingly because of this, which again, just like we saw in the time when it was speculated that Drake was going to go against The Weeknd, is telling us that he doesn't even believe in his abilities anymore because he knows that he cannot win these head-to-heads because he does not have the hype on his side anymore, because he is not just
he gonna try to get Lotto and them two girls. What's the other girl with the who had the carrot afro with the red hair? He got Lotto and the other girl. The other girl. He think they gonna bring him back. That's not gonna happen, man.
Let down, but he has lost so many fans because of everything he has done. And by playing these games that we are all tired of. Of course, with all of this, Drake tried to just create enough noise where people would be thinking about him and what he may be planning and doing. But of course, he did not want to cross or be in any sort of actual back and forth with new music, not just involving these other artists who are now bigger than him, but of course, Kendrick Lamar in any way possible. Because again, even with him having all of the advantages that he needed to outperform Kendrick right now in this time, and that is just because he was putting out an album way after Kendrick put out his. Kendrick and his music have not even been slightly phased by anything Drake is doing one bit. Now, while Drake's response to once again just getting handed more L's was posting all of these weird pictures and putting captions that very well could be track titles to whatever he's doing next, and really the more you look into this, it does seem very likely that he is going to drop some sort of a deluxe version of SSS for You to try and save this album and make people look at it again. Because again, between all of this artwork and all of these new titles to even him teasing a Nokia video, it's clear that he is going to try and respond to Carti overtaking everything by trying to make this album relevant one last time. For now, this record is just falling off.
Oh, that's the little encryptic message he did. Okay, that's one of them old phones. Trying to convince them that you their favorite.
One last time. For now, this record is just falling off and climbing down all of the charts, and for the one Drake record that is still trying to hold the weight of everything he has lost with Nokia, as this song is barely holding on the charts and is looking worse and worse every day that Carti continues to make a massive impact with this record, things are only getting worse, and they really reached an all-time low for Drake and his community, as after Playboi Carti himself shared how much this album was dominating, by sharing a screenshot of how some of the early streaming charts looked after the album dropped, and in one of them, you saw Carti's album was everywhere in the top, aside from two spots which were occupied by Kendrick Lamar and SZA's Luther, and Drake's Nokia, as Carti blurred out Nokia and Drake's name entirely and showed off the other non-album song from Kendrick there. Drake fans lost it as they felt like this was the biggest piece of proof they needed to see on how the industry is and Drake's Nokia.
Hold on.
As Carti blurred out Nokia and Drake's name entirely and showed off the other non-album song from Kendrick there, Drake
Oh, Cardi blurred out his joint. Cardi. Ah.
Fans lost it as they felt like this was the biggest piece of proof they needed to see on how the industry is against Drake and how they do not want him to win whatsoever. But I mean, with this, I don't know why they can't just accept the reality that Carti is clearly on Team Kendrick at this point because he likes what Kendrick has to offer musically.
I heard Carti was like that. He one of them guys. Yeah, I heard Carti was one of them guys. I ain't talking about the artist Carti. I'm talking about the real person Carti. Yeah, I heard he wanted one of them. Yeah.
And again, while Drake can try and act surprised by this and make his fan base just keep pushing these narratives, if we just look at what actually happened, if we go back to the track No Face where Drake tried to put Carti on his side in this beef, but of course we found out that when the actual official song was put out, Carti did not clear his vocals, which shows that he didn't just not want anything to do with Drake and his music, but in reality, he was probably pretty annoyed at Drake for trying to put his name within a song where he was talking crazy about all the people who were on this very album, like Kendrick, Metro, Future, and The Weeknd as a whole. Overall, right then and there, Drake and everyone should have realized where these two stood, and beyond just that, while the Drake community is trying to act like Drake belonged on this record, or that Kendrick was the one who apparently took Drake off the album, which is something that Ack is trying to convince everyone of. When Drake did his big unfollowing spree to split his ties officially with people like LeBron, DeMar DeRozan, Kendrick, and many others who he felt turned against him in the beef, Carti was also a part of this group that he publicly unfollowed, so again right there, he let everybody.
Drake finally unfollowed Kendrick and also Carti. So he was following Kendrick at one time? Dude. People don't know Drake started all of this. You just can't find the video because ESPN wiped it away. Marcellus Wiley, he did a lot of videos on. He know the ins and outs of when Drake started this feud. He came at Kendrick first, before the Control verse. Yeah, before that. Yeah. Drake started this. Yep, he started. And this is what people don't know.
Everybody know that they were not on good terms. So at this point, when it comes to whatever split happened between Drake and Carti, Drake clearly did this to himself and he should not be trying to once again play the victim when it comes to the narrative about him being left off this record. And I mean with this entire album from Carti. Drake has to realize at this point, from his pathetic little post to his actual album, which offered nothing slightly interesting that made people want to get back on his side or just actually look forward to what the future of his career had to offer. Because again, overall, this record was the most uninspired and delusional piece of work he has ever released. Because of his own failure, nobody is interested in Drake the way they once were, and right now by doing things like these, he is really just revealing how much he has lost and how desperate he is to try and gain back any sort of attention. And with this entire album that Carti put out, with all the collaborators on it just running around together and creating an album that is garnering so much attention, what Drake is now seeing is that after a time where he believed that he was the key to everything and that his presence was needed on these massive blockbuster records in order to make them as big as they were,
look, these massive blockbuster records. Yay. Look, he think everybody still need him for these massive blockbuster theatrical these movies, man. We don't need you no more, man. You ain't that guy. You're not that guy, buddy. Trust me, you're not that guy.
It was just never bigger than the system and more valuable than everything else, and if anything, Drake was holding things back because for an album that was so groundbreaking from Carti and was led in terms of the features department by Kendrick Lamar to be pulling in the numbers that it has so far, I don't think it's a coincidence that this record is doing what it is in this exact moment in time. And so overall, while Drake is going to continue to run around and try to do whatever he can to keep getting attention and make this Nokia record hold up the rest of his failing album, with this 30-song album from Carti, which has created so much new music for him to go against, and of course, with Kendrick Lamar now having a bigger presence within everything than ever because he really is about to have so many different songs on the charts after these 3 new tracks from Carti and him end up landing wherever they do, overall Drake is done for now and he is really being left behind with the release of this new album. But as he is clearly trying to do something else with the entire era of SSS for You before he moves on fully, because again,
hey look, I'm gonna leave a link in the description. I hope he don't come out with no deluxe or anything like he trying to put a cherry on top of nothing. Drake, please do not do it. Don't put no cherry on top of no. He in the studio like, nah, they really didn't hear it. They ain't hear it like, no, we heard it. We don't want it. So just go and keep it to yourself and go and take a chill pill, man. We good. It's about time we go a little while without you. You understand? It's about time we need to take a break. We don't need to hear from you for a couple months, maybe a year. Yeah, a year, 2, or 3, or 4, or maybe 10. You know what I'm saying? Just go and chill. Yeah, they said you got a lot of money, right? All right, go spend up some of your money. Go enjoy yourself, man. You got these kids out here, man. They ready to go play with their dad. Look, we don't want to hear no SSS songs for you no more. You already paid the TikTokers. You got the whistleblower came out. The jig is up. We already see you. Yeah, we already see you. So y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Should Drake just go ahead and take a chill pill? Or do y'all want to hear SSS Songs for You Part 2? Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm going to leave a link in the description. Big Kish signing out. I'm going, y'all.